Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome to a Wednesday hump day edition of the JP Peterson Show. Let's hope you guys can hear us today, as opposed to yesterday when StreamYard effed us. Golly,
a little bit.
That happens. We got
when you rely on other people to do things for you, this is what happens, JP.
Boy, is that a lesson learned? Do what you say you're going to do, right? Do what you say you're going to do. Raise. Cost overruns. Oh, boy, do we have Rays news today. Oh, I got stadium news. You're
chomping at the bit this morning, aren't you?
We got all kinds of stuff. We got Eric Neander talking about playing baseball outside. Kevin Cash talking about that. Talking about Danny Jansen. That's going to be it, boys. If you're looking for a big splash from the Rays, you better be heading out to a pool or somewhere nearby to watch the catcher do a cannonball or something, because that is about all you going to get with this offense, second worst in Major League Baseball. So, yeah, add that 220 hitter and things should pick up. Hey, Michael Sorgel says we're loud and clear, bro. Good morning to you, Tim Ham, by the way. Good morning to you out in our chilly Dallas affiliate.
Yes, good morning, JP. Good morning, Tampa Bay. Good morning, sunshine. Is it sunny and 34 here in North Texas? I'm sure it's a little bit nicer out there in the
Wasn't that
area
an old
by
song? Good morning, sunshine. Oh, that's Starshine. Yeah, that's an old 60s. Yeah, it's showing our age today.
Yeah, big time.
Good morning to you, Jeff Stutler, as well. Good morning to all our commenters. Yeah, we've got lots to get to today. A little inside information I'll be passing on to you kids regarding the stadium situation. Rob Manfred spoke with the mayor yesterday, who had a very curious quote that we will talk about. Also spoke with county commissioners as well. The vote coming up on December 17th, if they will approve the bonds. A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Tampa, new prospective owners, all these things. So we will get to that. And the Rays on the field. We're actually going to talk about the Rays on the field. How about that? Like real baseball. Jason Romano is going to join us. He is Kyle Tucker's agent. There have been some scuttlebutt about the former Plant High School superstar for the Astros coming home to play for Tampa Bay. So he'll have some information on that when we chat with him out at the winter meetings in Dallas, where you are. Winter meetings. It feels like winter out there.
Right down the road in Irving. Yeah, they're not too far.
Yeah. And we'll get some football news. Obviously, what's going on in the portal is crazy. This is, I think, the worst we've ever seen, best we've ever seen, wildest we've ever seen.
Yeah.
As agents start hooking into collectives, and it's just, it was the wild west last year, but there were only about, 8 or 9 guns out on the street. Now that feels like there's 1,000. It's a freaking free-for-all. There's never been more money. There's never been more opportunity. There's never been more, I think a lot of the teams feel like they know what the playing field is now, but nobody knows. It's crazy. What's the sense you guys are getting in Texas, football crazy Texas? What's going on?
Well, it's always the wild, wild west here in Texas. That's why we're Texas, as you have to say it right when you hear Texas.
Texas.
But, I was looking at some of the transfer portal stuff this morning. SMU's starting to lose some players already because they're good, and now some of the bigger programs are recognizing their players. Plus, they're in the ACC. It's a bigger conference. I believe they're losing a running back to the University of Texas, by the way.
Oh, wow. Horns down.
Yeah,
horns down.
F them. And go Georgia. Go Dogs!
So we have some Texas on Texas crime.
We always have Texas on Texas crime, and it's funny. Recruiting here, I'm sure it's the same in Florida. Recruiting here has always been just cutthroat, especially between Texas schools, because, Texas high school football is so revered, around the area. And when we lose a recruit out of state, it hurts here just like it does in Florida. You got a Tampa high school kid that ends up going to school in Kentucky or somewhere. it hurts you. It's the same here, but it hurts just as bad when the Aggies got a target and he goes to Texas or to Baylor instead of coming to A&M, so it's with the onset of the NIL and it's just that recruiting continues for their entire college career, now it just doesn't stop. That's the only difference.
Yeah. Interesting. And what's going on at Florida State, I think, is really emblematic of where we're at. So Luke Kromenhoek, who's a 5-star, he was the jewel of the 2024 Mike Norvell class. He met with FSU and Gus Malzahn and Mike Norvell. The story that hit Twitter was he was asking for 7 figures. And based on his play this year, boy, that's a tough ask. Now, if he was back in the high school recruiting as a 5-star, well, yeah. This is what's so bizarre about all of it. You will pay a 5-star quarterback coming out of high school $1 million to come to your program. Problem is now he went and played. Yeah. And he doesn't look like a 5-star. Nobody would look like a 5-star behind that offensive line in that offense. It was the worst in college football, arguably. Yeah. So he's kind of in a little bit of a pickle, quite frankly. So how will this recruiting go? He's going into the portal. He's leaving Florida State. Reports are that Florida State has already agreed to a deal with Thomas Castellanos, a guy who was previously attached to FSU and UCF. And played with Gus Malzahn at UCF and left Gus Malzahn at UCF and went to Boston College and damn near beat Florida State in their undefeated season. So, but I'm not enamored with him as a quarterback, to be quite honest. I think it feels very much DJU-ish all over again. He's kind of a retread that it feels like Mike Norvell, if this is indeed the case, is going to look to, to come and add some credibility. Now, I think with Castellanos and his running ability, 7 wins, 6 wins is your floor. You're not going to have a 2-win season again. I don't think that's possible, but anything's possible. But his ceiling's probably 8, and that's not good enough for Florida State. Even after a 2-10 season, that's not good enough. So it's beyond bizarre, and they're expected to host anywhere from 7 to 12 quarterbacks on campus in the next week or so, or 2 weeks. At least FSU doesn't have to be bothered with getting ready for a bowl game. So I guess, or practicing for a bowl game.
Little time off.
Well, they can concentrate more on their NIL and portal. So I guess that's one advantage to going 2-10. And obviously they're putting together a great coaching staff, which I think will help them dramatically in the portal, but you still have to identify the right guys, which is what they did not do last year. They did it well the previous 2 years, but they did not the last 2 years. But now, what's sad about this is now you have our good friend Pat Burnham reporting that he talked to Luke's dad and he flat out denied that they demanded 7 figures. So where did that story even come from? We don't know. According to the dad, they didn't ask for 7 figures. Now, also I'm also smart enough to know the dad's not going to admit to the world that he asked for 7 figures. And frankly, if he did, so what? So what? Oh, he's not worth it. Who are you to decide that? You ask for what you think you can get, and why ask for less? Why depress your value? You in any negotiation, you want to go for the throat in the beginning, and you negotiate from that number. So. But I'm on Twitter and everybody's like laughing at Luke and like the gall of this kid, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what are we even talking about? We don't even know if the story's true. So I feel this is a bad part of it, right? The complete lack of transparency between programs and players and families and coaches. I mean, it's crazy, and it can't continue. Honestly. And this is what kind of pisses me off is you have all these administrators, these commissioners making $8, $9, $10 million a year, whatever the hell they make. The athletic directors, all these guys making gobs and gobs of money, and your system is so effing broke, and you're doing literally nothing about it. And except throwing your hands up and going, okay, NIL, let's blame the players. And I think the players are getting so much of the blame here, and that's totally unfair, in my opinion. And if you had a kid, if Luke was your kid, would you not go meet with the program and ask for $1 million? I would. He's a 5-star quarterback. I'm not judging him by the way he played last year at FSU, except the fact that he had the guts to go out there and do it for his team. I'll give him high marks for that. He's always been a bit of a project. He's not one of those guys that has been classically tutored as a quarterback. He used to play safety, he's an athlete, and he's learning at a quarterback and clearly did not get developed by that horribly subpar Florida State quarterbacks coach and coaching staff. He wasn't ready to play. In no way was he ready to play. And I put that on the coaching staff. I see a lot of kids that come in as freshmen and they're ready to play, that have really good ability. And Luke has tons of ability. And I hate to see him go. You should not be losing 5-star quarterbacks. But that's where the program is at right now. And so it's up to Mike Norvell to go out and find it. And there was another case at Florida, the linebacker. I pulled this up on Twitter, where his demands were put out on Twitter. And I'm like, well, how do we even know if this is true? He wanted $45,000 a month. And what I thought was interesting, well, according to these Twitter reports, he wanted $45,000 a month. He also wanted to be guaranteed to play on third down and guaranteed numbers of snaps. And I'm like, whoa. And this is probably what we had with the DJU situation.
Right.
Why did Mike not pull him when he was obviously not getting the job done? And we did find out later when everybody else went in that it wasn't all his fault. And we knew it wasn't all his fault, obviously. But, he was clearly inaccurate. He couldn't run. There was a lot of issues with DJU. And you said, why didn't he pull him? Well, and we made jokes that there may be something in his NIL contract that keeps him from getting pulled. Well, if now we're learning that guys are in their contracts demanding and I guess getting assurances from the coaching staff of playing time, now we've really completely screwed the pooch as to what college football is all about. I mean, this is completely ridiculous. So again, I call on commissioners, I call on presidents to put your self-interest aside and somehow get together in a collective way across college football and figure this out, where we have some type of salary cap, some type of floor, some type of equity, some type of level playing field, not this ridiculous get out into the middle of the street, wild, wild west. Everybody's got Uzis and away we go, figuratively speaking. Yeah. It can't continue.
No, and you have to be able to police this somehow because it's no different than the NFL. Look, your first round draft picks, you've got caps on all of those, depending on where they're drafted, how much their contract can be, and how many years it can be. It should be no different for NIL. For if you want to do it by position, that's great. You've got more important positions. But dude, coming out if you're a 5-star, and I don't even believe those star ratings because they're different from whatever media company does it. Right? Sometimes they're a 4, sometimes they're a 5. So there's not even a consistent rating format for them. But dude, if you're a 4-star or 5-star coming out, you can get $500,000 your freshman year. If you end up playing so many snaps or you play so many games or whatever, then we'll give you another $200,000. Right. But you can't just come in willy-nilly and say, hey, you know what? You want me to come to your school? I'm a 5-star quarterback. I want $1 million. And if you don't give it to me, Texas is going to give it to me. And you're Florida State trying to compete with other schools in the area. Well, UCF said they'd give me $800,000. You have to match that or I'm going there. Yeah. You just can't have it be like that. It needs to be consistent. There needs to be a cap, and that player should not be able to get more than $500,000 or whatever the number is. For example, $500,000. Now let the schools compete with each other for that figure, right? Based on academics, based on facilities, like it used to be, right? You go to a school because you like their facilities.
Yeah, now the players are still getting paid now.
Yes,
but there's some control and some consistency to the rosters. Right. Where I say you can have one free transfer. The second one you got to sit out 4 games. Everything else is a hardship that you have to apply for. And I think that's fair. That gives you some stability, and these coaches aren't constantly recruiting their roster. Yep. All right, we're going to take a really quick break because we've got to get Jason Romano on the line. We'll talk some baseball with him. A lot of baseball questions in the comments about the Rays. We're going to get to all that. We'll get his take on the Soto contract. He's at the winter meetings. What's the buzz there? And are the Rays going to go out and get any more hitters? It appears that they are not. And that is just mind-boggling. So we'll do all that. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. That chatted with Scott Jeeves yesterday. We will be headed back to the studio. Well, actually on Friday. We're going to be on site at the Pro Cup tomorrow. But we love the Jeeves Law Group studio. And if you're involved in an accident, call them first. Just go to JeevesLawGroup.com. Get their information. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Back in 3. Stay with us. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Tarpon Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go! Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. They've been in business for over 60 years, folks. If you're having issues with your homeowners insurance claim, maybe they can answer some questions for you. I just ask that you let them shop your homeowners insurance, your auto insurance, and your business insurance, and let them save you money. They do all the work. You save all the cash. I like how that works. Great folks over there. Tell them JP sent you. 813-877-7799, Italiano Insurance. All right, let's welcome in our good friend Jason Romano, former Rays player, former number 1 pick out of Hillsborough High, now agent to the Stars, including Kyle Tucker. What's up, Jason? How are you?
Good, man. How you doing? Just leaving Dallas.
Oh, big winter meetings out there, throwing a lot of cash around.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, man. Can you believe that number Soto got? Good.
You've been playing baseball. You've been around the game for a long time. You're an agent. You even had to shake your head at that. Like, what, 15 years? Like, he's going to be 100.
I know. I mean, the guy, he is a generational talent type of hitter, but to go 15 years and, possibility of him being a DH on the back half of that deal is kind of absurd, but that's the price of doing business now. Steve Cohen just wants to go out and win a championship, and lifelong dream as a Mets fan, and I don't think anything will stop him. So definitely not money. So he got the player he wanted, and more importantly, he took him, from the evil empire across his way. So whenever you can just outbid the Yankees on anybody, anytime you want, it's a pretty powerful position to be in life, I guess.
Jason, you were, if I recall correctly, you had to swim through Texas here with the Rangers, correct?
Yes, I was.
Back in the early 2000s.
I was drafted. I was drafted by the Rangers in '97 and worked my way up to the minor leagues and made my debut at Texas 2002.
So you were here when A-Rod was here with his ridiculous at what we thought, because I'm in Dallas too. I live in Dallas.
Yep.
I'm a big Rangers supporter here. So
yep.
You were here when he signed his, what we thought at the time was a ridiculous 10-year, $200 and whatever $1 million contract. And that just seems like beans now.
We were all blown away that he got $252 million in 10 years. And, yesterday, Max Fried, who probably a lot of the majority of viewers or listeners don't even know, got 8 years, $218 million, whatever. That's how far we've come. It's just keeps going and going. But that just shows you how much money's out there, TV revenues and all the, the stadium deals and pricing and advertising. So it's just, it is what it is. It's a new market. It's a new way. People thought that the big deals are going to go away, and here we are. They're getting bigger and bigger and longer and longer. 5 years ago, people were talking about, oh man, the Pujols deal, and this deal, and that deal. They were so bad. The owners are going to wake up and stop doing this.
Nope,
there's no stopping it.
Jason, and when Rays fans hear you say that about there's so much money in baseball, they're like, well, what about us? We just bought a catcher for $8 million. And everybody's, doing backflips, and that's about all that looks like the Rays are going to spend. There's a lot, and they have money to spend, right? As you mentioned, TV contracts, all those things. It's not just about attendance, right?
Yeah, I think some ownership groups just run it more frugal and run it as a business, and they strike when they can. And the Rays, to their credit, they've always find a way to get into the playoffs, and they haven't won a World Series, but they obviously run it different than somebody like Steve Cohen. It's not that business model. The Guardians are very similar to Rays, and they make the playoffs. Their division's a lot weaker than the AL East. But I think they're kind of going to gear up with the new stadium coming and some things in the works there. I think they will end up trying to spend a little bit more. I'm not saying they're going to be a team that pays somebody $400 or $500 million, but in the next 5 or 10 years, I think the Rays do start spending more and try to be more competitive on the spending side. But they do have some magic formula.
Are they getting a new owner? Do you know something I don't know?
I know.
The current owner ain't going to spend any money. You know that. He's got a $700 million mortgage now, allegedly. So,
yeah. He can get a lot for that team if he wants to sell, though.
We'll have more on that after you leave the program, by the way. Are you hearing anything that the Rays are for sale? Because I certainly am.
I don't know that for sure. I've obviously heard a little bit here and there, but if you're a guy that's trying to make a return on your money, I think would they pay $250 million for him or something crazy?
Yeah, they pay,
and now they could probably sell for $2.5 billion.
Yeah.
How do you not cash out?
I would definitely cash out, no question.
Oh my God.
So now there was some scuttlebutt about your player, the King, Kyle Tucker, being traded to the Rays. What can you tell us about that?
I think there's obviously a lot of teams are probably trying to, get in on that. He's a superstar player. He's got one more year of control before he's a free agent. So but the problem with that is trading. The Rays don't want to give away 3 or 4 top minor league guys. Some of their number one prospects for somebody that may not resign. That's just not smart business. So I would say it's pretty low. The teams that are probably going to end up making a trade are somebody like the Cubs or the Yankees, who can trade 2 or 3 prospects and maybe one big leaguer, and then also have the ability potentially to sign Kyle to a long-term deal.
Do the Astros not want to sign him long-term?
I think they'd love to. They just don't. Jim Crane is not a fan of contracts past 6 years. He's never done it. He doesn't believe in long-term deals, and he definitely doesn't believe in probably spending, $400 or $500 million on a player. So the odds of that happening are not great, which is why the smart move is to move a guy like him right now, why his value is high as it could be, they don't have a farm system. They've kind of traded guys, and they haven't really developed guys. And when they got caught up in the cheating scandal, they didn't get draft picks for 2 years. So 2 years of no draft, that was like 4 or 5 years ago. It's probably coming full circle where they have no prospects now.
So you think Kyle's going to be on the move here shortly? And now with obviously Soto out of New York, is that the spot everybody's saying he could be headed? And that really, that short porch would be nice for him, huh?
Oh man, that'd be good. Hopefully he's 50 there before his free agency begins. No, but he's a Gold Glove defender. He's only 1 year older than Soto. People don't realize that. People talk about the magical Soto's 26. Kyle's 27.
Jeez.
Kyle is a better defender. He steals 30 bases. He creates more runs. He's a better WAR guy. Helps teams win more games. So, all right, you want to give Soto 15 years? You can give Tucker 12 years, and he comes out younger at the end of that deal.
Ooh. So
you look 12, at it like that.
12. Come on, Yankees, step up. Are the Dodgers out of money? The Dodgers are never out of money. Are the Dodgers in play here?
They will be next year, I'm sure. Everybody's always in play for the Dodgers.
So yeah, absolutely. Do you think so? Would you rather see him traded and signed this year, or traded and then maybe play the season and then hit free agency? What would your
I think traded and then hit the free agency. You come this far. He's done the work, and he's held off on temptations of other deals, from the Astros or whatnot. So, you just got to play it out and then get all your options. And every player's dream to get free agency, and he's now awarded that right. So when he gets there next year, look at everywhere, look at the environments, look at the cities, the competition, the teams, the farm system, and everything, and then he can make his best decision.
And the Rays, I mean, it's like you said, this is going to be a 12-year, $500 million deal. I mean, so the Rays aren't in play for this unless they get new ownership, right? And Kyle's dad's part of the ownership group.
There you go. Yeah, I like your thinking. Maybe that's that one.
Yeah. Well, we always need minority owners. We'd love to have. Well, think about that, folks. Just for a second, we can dream. What if Stu sold, and we'll have some news on that in a little bit. If he stole to big money people, and Kyle Tucker becomes a free agent, and they're building a new stadium in Tampa. I mean, are you telling me, is there a better anchor to bring home moving into a new stadium than the King, Kyle Tucker? This sounds like a pretty good idea. What do you think, Jake?
In heaven, right?
Yeah.
I think we got to get the Rays sold first.
Yeah. Okay. I'm working on that. We all are.
I think we also got to get a stadium in Tampa second.
Yeah. I'm working on that too.
Come on, let's get those. Let's partner up with those Seminoles, the Indians over at the casino. Let's do something special over there in I-4.
I think there could be something in the works there, my friend. I think there could be something. I didn't even prep you on that, and you came up with that. That's interesting.
I think it makes the most sense. I mean, it's an entertainment district now. You turn that into something special, all that land.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to gamble and drink and put a bunch of restaurants around there. Now you got something special, and everybody can get there from all counties.
Yes. From Orlando as well, much easier. Put a little bright line stop in there. Oh, this makes a lot of sense. It make a little bit more sense.
You guys are making way too much sense for a Stu Sternberg opportunity here. I'm telling you.
Does that make more sense than? I mean, listen, look at this deal in St. Pete. This is great. You got a great location. You got the county and the city and the ownership groups already pissing on each other, bitching about cost overruns, and they haven't even put a shovel in the ground. It's more money than anybody's ever given in terms of public funding to a stadium by the smallest city, St. Petersburg, in Major League Baseball. I think that all sounds great, and it's a failed location. I think that's a brilliant idea. I think they should move forward with that instead of Tampa. What we just said. Okay, that was sarcasm.
I just hope everything goes well with Steinbrenner State Field this year, and they see Tampa go fill that thing up every night, and the Rays have a great year there. And
well, what do you think about that, Jay? Embellish on that if you would, because you grew up here. You are part of the fabric of baseball in Tampa Bay. I won't limit it to just Tampa. You've been around here forever. I think Steinbrenner Field outside, the players are going to love it. The fans are going to love it. I think it's going to be a huge success. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be awesome. Those little venues like that sometimes are more fun, and we pack them in, and you get the energy. And now the only thing, it's going to be hot, and we know it's going to be humid. We know, sitting out there spring training games sometimes is awful. In February, March, it's hot. Sun beaming down at you. That's not even near what it's going to be in July and August. But I know they've manipulated the schedule a little bit.
Yeah,
very heavy at home at the beginning. So maybe they'll do some misters, maybe they'll do something. But I mean, listen, there's other stadiums out there with outdoor stadiums too, so it's not like that crazy of an idea. There'll be more rain delays. A lot of batting practice will be canceled, as we know, at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. That's what the cards have been dealt. I think they're gonna make the best of it. I was reading today that they're able to take over, put their signage up, and make it feel like home with the locker room. So that's good. I mean, the players will adjust. They go on the road. They'll still get the big league treatment. They'll come home, and there are going to be some players that don't want to sign, with the A's or with the Rays because of the minor league situation, and that's going to hurt them probably this offseason with signing guys. But some guys don't care. Like what's his name? Just Severino just signed with the A's. He don't care. Got his $70 million.
Would
Jason,
you rather?
I've said it since they made the announcement that the Rays would be playing at Steinbrenner Field that the baseball fans in Tampa Bay and the whole area are in for a treat because they've never experienced outdoor Major League Baseball, and to me, that's a big thing here in North Texas. We had the Rangers when you played for them at the ballpark in Arlington. Which, by the way, speaking of heat and hot in the summer, I was there.
That was brutal.
I'm with you, man.
I still don't know how Pudge caught all those years as a catcher.
Oh,
for 20 years.
He was a warrior, man. He still is. He's still a beast. But, now, with the Trop and the Rays being there and what I consider just a subpar Major League ballpark anyway, experiencing outdoor baseball, and Steinbrenner Field's a great facility. Experiencing outdoor baseball is going to bring a whole new light on baseball and the way it's supposed to be played and the way that it can be played and sound and feel. As a player, what can you tell fans about how different it is playing inside and outside as a major leaguer?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you get the sun, you get the stars at night. Yeah. You get all the wind, and it just adds a little more element. The smells are different. The sounds different off the bat. I mean, it's way better to play baseball outside. We all grew up doing it. It's kind of reminds you of being a kid. But there places like Houston or some domes out there are also nice too. It's all temperature controlled and climate controlled. So I think Tampa is in for a treat. I think there's definitely going to be some people that moan and groan about the heat and the rain as they show up to a game and they leave work or they buy tickets and next thing you know it's rained out. But that could happen anywhere, any sport
part of the game.
So it's part of life. It's part. So, but I think it is going to be cool. I mean, I think hopefully they can pack that in. If they start getting 4,000 and 5,000 not filling that stadium up, it's going to be bad. That's the downside.
Yeah, I don't think
and you got the cameras looking at minor league stadium and it's half full. It's going to feel like, oh boy, this city don't want it.
Well, they're not going to have many day games, so that's the beautiful part of it. So they're all going to be night games for the most part, and we won't have to sit in the sun for a whole game, hopefully. Hey, I know you got to catch a plane, but give me an update on some of your other guys, Brady, Cam Smith, some of the other guys from the local area, and how they're doing.
Yeah, Brady Singer got traded to the Reds from the Royals, so he's a new organization heading over there. Should be a good fit. I mean, they got a good young competitive team and a good division there. So he's happy. He's working out in Tampa. We should do your show live from Tampa one day where all they work out. That'd be cool.
Yeah, let's do it.
There. Yeah, we can do that. And then
where are they working
Cam
out?
Smith, right there is a place called Suka Club in South Tampa.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Great spot. Yeah.
So Cam, FSU kid?
Cam Smith, Florida State kid, drafted by the Cubs, #1. He really took off. The kid's going to be a superstar. I mean, amazing kid. He's going to be in Tampa in January too, so we can have him on your show.
Cool.
Yeah, they're all doing well. Schwarber's in Philly. Nate Pearson is now with the Cubs as well. He's doing good. They might potentially make him a starter, so could be throwing 100 miles per hour as a starter.
Nice.
Some up-and-coming young kids around.
Connor Scott?
Connor's still hanging in there. Yeah, he's free agent. So Jake Woodford.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Gibbons ended up retiring, so he's done.
Okay.
Had a great career.
Yes, he did.
But, all the Tampa boys are rolling.
Well, listen,
Tommy May.
What's that?
Yep. Tommy May.
Yeah, how Tommy May's doing? How's he doing?
He's doing good. He had a great year in Double-A with the Guardians, and hopefully be in Triple-A and knocking on the door to the big leagues here soon.
Damn, that's quick. That's quick.
Yeah.
All right, partner. Good to catch up with you. Let's do it
Okay.
again soon. I know you got to catch a flight.
Yeah.
But we'll catch up when you get home. Thanks, bud.
Okay, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jason.
We'll see you.
Great, Jason
All right,
Romano right there. Yeah, isn't it crazy? Like baseball, and I'm with you, Tim. It's meant to be played outside. And when did we get so effing soft? Jesus. I mean,
I'll tell you when I got soft was when I got in about my 40s, all right? Because I went to several 20, 30, 40 Rangers games from the age of, I don't know, teenager to
it never bothered us.
My kids were small, and I mean, it never bothered me. But when I started taking my kids and then they started complaining, I'm like, man, you're right. What are we doing here? It's hot.
Climate change. Yeah.
It is global warming. Thanks, Al Gore.
I think to me, it's like in the sun, when you're in direct sunlight, it's brutal. When you're in the shade, it's not that bad. Even when it's 90, it's fine.
But I enjoy outdoor baseball. I've been to the new Rangers ballpark, obviously, with the roof open and with the roof closed. To me, even with the roof open, it still feels like an indoor state. It's still a dome, right? You still get the echo is weird. Like Jason was talking about, it sounds different.
Yeah.
Smells
different, sounds different.
But you know what? I will gladly trade 72 degrees indoors to watch my Rangers play than sit outside and be miserable and watch my Rangers play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll take it. I get it.
Yeah. And in a situation like this where you really don't have a whole lot of options, I think it'll play fine. It'll play fine. And it's not going to be, hopefully there's something down the road where it's indoor, outdoor, and you can make it much more palatable. Yeah. If not, we understand what Florida brings, and it's just a new environment. People expect to have the climate controlled. Yeah. It just is what it is. And back in the day when you're charging $10 for a ticket, if you got to sit out in the sun, or sit outside, it's okay. Now when you're charging $150 for a ticket, people want, they don't want to sweat. Yeah. They don't want to sweat. They want it nice and cool and comfortable. And I get that. Yep. What else did he say that was interesting? Oh, the whole Kyle Tucker thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you lay it out like that, he is a better player than Juan Soto. And it's not debatable. The offensive numbers are better. The defensive numbers aren't even close. He's way better. He steals more bases. He's a true 5-tool player. He is a true fight where Soto's not. We're talking about him being a DH.
Yeah, this Soto contract just blew me away. I never thought in a bajillion years there would be a contract like that. And really, only two teams I think you had bidding against each other were the Yankees and the Mets. The Yankees wanted to keep him, and the Mets wanted to get him. So there was your competition, but he is like you said, he is not an all-around player. He's not a 5-tool player. He's good on offense, but he is a defensive liability most of the time, in my opinion. And I just can't imagine paying that amount of money. You look at Ohtani's contract. Ohtani can do everything.
Everything.
So
including pitch at a high level.
$1 billion.
But
and he didn't even pitch last year, right? We'll see that this year, hopefully.
Yeah.
But man, Soto, look, I always thought he was a nice player, but not the highest paid player in MLB or in sports.
Timing and situation, and a guy that's so drunk with cash that it doesn't even matter to him. Well, look, which is great. At least he's giving it away. He's not hoarding it like other people do.
No.
Steve
Cohen, man, Steve Cohen's he's got money like on a different level even than like most MLB owners, right? Like he doesn't care. So he can go out and say, if you're bidding against other teams on Juan Soto or whatever, throw in another $25 million a year. I don't care. Just go get him. I don't care. Just tell me what the final number is.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Not every major league billionaire owner can do that, right? Like there are different levels of billionaires. Steve Cohen is way up here on the level of billionaire.
And nobody's expecting the Rays to get in these ridiculous bidding wars. I mean, even for Kyle Tucker, it's when you're the Rays, and I'm not saying you have to be the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Mets, but just get to the middle. Get to the middle or get close to the middle.
Right.
Get over 100 million for once.
Yeah.
Get close to the middle. This year would be the perfect time to do it because you have a tremendous pitching staff. Like we talked with Smoltz the other day, you have a great pitching staff, one of the best in the league. And we'll hear from Neander here in just a little bit talking about that. And you've got an opportunity to go spend a little bit of money and make your team a juggernaut, like a juggernaut. And they're just like, nah, because they know they can win 90 games with this pitching staff. They don't care about winning a World Series. And that's criminal. That's criminal. Come on. Plus, they've got all these other things they're worried about.
Business
all right, let's take
business, JP. Business is business.
Yeah, it's shitty business, though. I mean, it's not, if you can't play with the big boys, go get on the porch with the puppies. Get out the game.
Go play something else.
Yeah, go do something else. Take your $1 billion, $2 billion profit and go. And let's if somebody wants to come in here and run this team like it should be run, well, then God bless them, Rob Manfred. Why don't you let them do it?
Go buy another skyscraper. We don't have to hear about what you're
doing. You want to pinch pennies? Go do it on Wall Street.
Yeah.
Go do it in real estate. Not running a baseball team.
No.
All right, let's and this is something part of the equation that people don't even talk about anymore because we're talking about ridiculous other stuff, which we will get to. We're going to take a quick break here, 2-minute break. I think we're down to 2-minute breaks now, 2.5-minute breaks, which is even better, not 8. We're brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. It's the holidays, folks. You got to go shopping, right? You got to get them something special. Well, why not the Gold and Diamond Source? The best prices, the best selection, great parking lot. You get in, you get out, great staff over there, and you're keeping it local. That's what it's all about, right? In this season, we've had a lot of hurricanes and all this other stuff. We got to support local business, folks, and that starts at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmington Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Back in 3.
Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Hey, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There's been a lot of talk about lab-grown diamonds. Oh, they're just like the real thing. No, they're not. They're not the real thing. They're lab-grown. They're fake. You want to give your honey a fake diamond? Not a good way to start off the relationship, folks. Take my word for it. Get the real thing, and no place better to shop than the Gold and Diamond Source. And remember, if you shop anywhere else, you don't know if it's real. You don't know what you're buying. The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for over 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors in our community. You know it's real. It's the only place to shop. And if you're planning to purchase for the holidays, don't forget to take advantage of our layaway offer at the Gold and Diamond Source. You can reserve your favorite piece now and pay in easy installments, making your holiday shopping stress-free. As always, we offer up to 5 years interest-free financing for just $84 a month when you finance $5,000. It's the only place to shop for the holidays. It's the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or Go to gettysgordongroup.com or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Let's go! Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here, brought to you by thirdgenerationplumbing.com. If you have any AC issues, they also do AC, plumbing issues, anything around the house, they can help you with it. Thirdgenerationplumbing.com is the website. You contact them through there. John Rodriguez is the owner, good friend, and if it's not right, he will make it right. So you'll get honest techs that show up and do the work they're supposed to do timely and at a great price. That's thirdgenerationplumbing.com. They do AC and everything else you need. So check them out. Tell them JP sent you. All right, so I want to get into this a little bit, kind of a breaking news, if you will. I've been talking about this for quite some time, about a group in Tampa that is coalescing, putting together investors to approach the Rays once again and try to buy this team and build a stadium in Tampa. I'm probably more sure of that now than I've ever been. Just had confirmation yesterday and earlier this morning, two separate sources, that this is indeed what Rob Manfred is doing. And he is in contact with these folks. That is definitely in play. He is very frustrated, I'm told, with what's going on in St. Petersburg, which is why he met with the mayor yesterday and met with the commission as well. I would not just look at this as a rubber stamp on the deal, even though I'm told Manfred still supports the deal, but he may support it in a way that doesn't necessarily mean a stadium in St. Petersburg. It may be something more towards a sale of the team, forcing a sale of the team. And I'll kind of lay out this scenario. Let's just say that the commission approves the bonds. The city has already approved the bonds, basically, quote, calling the bluff of Stu Sternberg, who many believe does not have the money for the $700 million, let alone or want to spend the money for the $700 million, or the quote cost overruns, which I'll get to in a second. And if that is the case, then that would most likely force a sale, which could be pending anyway. So while Manfred is, and it's interesting, if you look at the mayor's quote yesterday, he did not say, I'm going to get the exact quote here. Let me do this. Are we having feedback for some reason here, partner?
I don't have any. Huh?
I'm hearing a little bit of feedback.
Are you? Okay.
But let me get to this. I'm going to get the exact quote because I thought it was interesting. After the mayor met with Manfred and talked obviously about the deal and what's going on with the deal. And definitely he is frustrated with that. Where is the quote? I hate doing this on the air. I apologize. Yeah, he said basically that he still supports the Tampa Bay Rays staying in the local community. He said, this is the mayor's quote, the local community, and did not specifically say St. Petersburg, which is interesting. Like, why would he not say St. Petersburg? Why would he say the local community? And that kind of was like that's a red flag to me. So what exactly is the commissioner talking about here? If he's frustrated with what's going on with Stu and him not wanting to, he understands what the public looks like. What it looks like in terms of PR. I mean, let's not forget what's happened over the last month and a half. Okay. And now the Rays are saying they don't want to pay the cost overruns, which they agreed to do that. Okay. Whatever the cost overruns were, there's nothing in the contract that says, oh, if a hurricane hits, blah, 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 blah. There's nothing to say it's, if it's delayed a year and is this completely out of left field? Hate using a cliche like that there would be cost overruns or the stadium wouldn't be built and ready to go by 2028. That's completely out of left field. Oh, we didn't see that coming. You're on such a quote strict timeline and you didn't see that coming and you don't want to pay for it. You got the advantage and the huge benefit of getting this real estate for $50 million up front, $50 million, and within 20 years, that's worth conservatively $500 to $700 million. I've been told it's worth $1 billion. Let's just say half of that for $50 million. That's what they signed off in order for you to take the cost overruns, because the county and the city did not want to be on the hook for any of that. They wanted cost certainty. So now you want to come back and change the deal and say there is a funding gap. No, there's not a funding gap. You don't want to pay the cost overruns that you agreed to pay. Somebody tweeted at me. It's like, I'm going to try that argument on my wife. Said it's at Tallybull. Said, thought I'd try the Rays approach to life. Seems to be working for them. Told my wife that she caused several quotes cost overruns when she went to Vegas the other day, and that I anticipated she would cover them out of her Christmas money by the end of the year.
That's pretty funny.
Try that to see how that goes with the wife. So, and this was also my response on Twitter to somebody coming at me and saying, JP, this is not all the Rays' fault here. This is on the county and the city for delaying. And by the way, they did not delay. They did delay. Well, actually, it's not even a delay unless you have deadlines that were due in March. So yeah, they scheduled a vote earlier just for procedural reasons or whatever. And then things happened. The reason they scheduled the vote early was probably because in case things happened, they could delay it.
Yeah.
Deadlines are deadlines. Contracts are contracts. They did not. And if the Rays, quote, spent all this money on, construction and all these other things that are happening and had to suddenly halt them, and that cost them, quote, $50 million, let's see the receipts. And by the way, contractually, they have to produce that if they're objecting to it. So I said, yeah, come on, Mayor Welch and Chris Latvala, commissioner, write that blank check, pay the cost overruns. Sure, Rays Baseball agreed to pay them in return for getting $700 million in prime real estate for $50 million that the public is forking out, $1.7 billion, paying for infrastructure normally paid by the developers. They get all the revenues, pay no real estate taxes on a stadium, pay no rent for the stadium, called you all liars, by the way, blamed you for daring to pause a funding vote after 2 major hurricanes changed funding priorities. Come on, you clearly haven't given or taken enough. Step up. Sure, they said St. Pete is not a major league city multiple times, kept the Trop site from being developed for 5 years, but you're still not doing enough for the Rays. We must keep them in this proven failed location that has zero guarantee attendance or revenue will go up. And yes, you should pay for the cost overruns. Give them even more public money. Just print it if you have to. What's the problem? We got to keep the Rays. I mean, at what point do you say, sorry, dudes, enough's enough? We don't have that kind of money. Where is your responsibility? It's your effing business. You're getting all the revenues. You're getting all the real estate profits. We gave you everything, and you still have the balls to come here and say there's a funding gap and you guys got to fix it. Like, in what world? Like, in what city out there is going to give them all this money and pay for the stadium, pay for a new team, the expansion fee, pay to run the team, which costs a little bit of money? Like, where are they going? Who else is going to give them this? The Kansas City Chiefs have won 2 Super Bowls in a row, 9 division titles. They asked for more money, and the public said, no, I don't think so. But here, oh yeah, whatever you want, Rays. You've been such great partners. It's crazy. And no wonder the commissioner is like, enough. And I'm glad to hear this, that he's finally had enough and he's frustrated with what Stu is doing. So let's see where this goes. And yes, Pinellas may approve the bonds, but I don't think there's a lot of people that feel like, oh, great, the stadium's back on. No. The Rays have said multiple times the deal is dead, and they haven't said the deal is on. They've just given vague letters of, okay, let's see what you guys do. So I have a sense that maybe Pinellas will line up with the city commission and basically call their bluff and then see what happens. And maybe at that point that will force a sale and this thing will head back to Tampa. I'm not reporting that's definitely what's happening, but from what I'm hearing behind the scenes, this is a lot of what it seems like this is heading. So I would say more than anything, because Manfred met with the city and met with the commission, I wouldn't necessarily mean it, and maybe they'll approve the bonds, but I don't necessarily think this is a rubber stamp on the stadium deal going through, because I don't think the Rays will ever step up to the plate and pay their share. And I don't think they ever even planned on it. That's my opinion. That's a separate argument. But the bottom line is they don't have the money for the cost overruns. So how's this going to get done at St. Pete? The city's going to come up with more money? I don't think they are. And the county is certainly not going to put up more money. That's not happening. So if I'm the commissioner, I'm like, okay, so the Rays, you don't want to pay? Okay, you guys can't come up. This is ridiculous. Call his bluff. Let's get the sale done, and then we move on to Tampa. And in the meantime, they'll play in Steinbrenner Field, and it may be more than 1 year. And I know there's a lot of issues that come with that, but there's a lot of benefits that come with it as well. You energize the market. You create a scarcity for tickets. You get businesses involved. I mean, this team should be good. And if you sell it to a local owner, oh my God, are you kidding me? Do you have any idea the public support that will come with that? If a local owner, if an ownership group steps up and says, yeah, we're gonna buy the team, we're gonna move it to Tampa where it should be, and we embrace the people in St. Petersburg and the entire area and do it all the right way. It's been done. I mean, God bless and rest in peace, Vince Naimoli was a horrible owner. He got the team. Thank you for doing that by threatening Major League Baseball. And then Stu came in and won games, but this stadium saga and what he's done and the way he's treated the fans has been deplorable for so long. Again, I have nothing personal against Stu. I just talk about the way he runs the team, like I would any ownership group that was doing what they've done. And I think we can do so much better. Somebody asked me on Twitter, said, JP, you act like you don't want the Rays here. No, I want them here. And I know St. Pete is not the way to do it. And this deal is not the way to do it. Because if we do this deal, within 5 years, the same problems are going to happen. The same issues are going to be, we're going to be sitting stuck in this terrible stadium for another 20 years. And I don't want that to happen. There's still time to change this and do it the right way. Don't make the same mistakes that the Marlins made. Put it in the right place. Get local ownership that has the backing of the local people that will step up from a private partnership standpoint and a public partnership standpoint in a deal that makes sense, protects the taxpayers, like Ken Hagan said, and works for everybody. It's always been the right thing to do. It's always been the right place to do it. You can hear Jason Romano, who's been in baseball all his life, who knows it from the players' side, from the management side. This is what should be done. And how can you look at this deal in St. Pete right now and say it's ever going to get done? And even if it gets done, it's still the wrong way to do it. Terrible on the taxpayers, horrible burden on them that'll continually be talked about and bitched about. There'll be no public support for it, even while it's going up. It's a disaster. And Rob Manfred, if he's been sitting around here and talking to all the people for the last month, he knows it. Yeah. He knows it better than anybody now. So this is a golden opportunity to get the team sold, to get it moved to Tampa and built in Tampa, and the energy that's going to come from that, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine when that ballpark is full. It's and the team hopefully is playing well, and I think they could if they just go spend a little bit of money. Even with this pitching staff, though, I think they're going to be good. They're going to be very competitive. So
sure.
Let's hope it happens. I think these developments are important. And from what I'm hearing behind the scenes, it's got a good shot. I never know. You never know what's going to happen because Stu can be that fly in the ointment. We know that. So
yep.
Hopefully we'll get it done. All right, let's switch gears and talk some college football, shall we?
Let's do it.
The grand poobah of the ReliaQuest Ball, the CEO, the president, Jim McVay, joining us here to talk a little college football. You have got a matchup of blue bloods, my friend, Alabama and Michigan. How are you? I bet you're doing pretty well, Jim.
Hello, JP. Exceptionally happy with the matchup. You know, when you get the Michigans and you get the Alabamas and you can match them up in your bowl game, I mean, there's a lot of people, not only in Alabama and Michigan, but a lot of people that are huge fans of Alabama and Michigan in the Tampa Bay area and throughout Florida. Everybody comes down here to retire.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of Michigan people. There's a lot of Alabama fans, and we're really excited about the matchup. So we're getting a really good response.
Yeah, how the ticket sales going? I imagine pretty brisk. Yeah.
Good. Ticket sales are brisk. People are talking about it. We have 3 weeks before kickoff. Plenty of time. We do have a big event this Thursday night where the head coaches of Michigan and Alabama and the athletic directors are going to be in town. It's a private party. It's our media kickoff.
I'll be there.
Yeah, we expect you to be there. You haven't missed one yet.
No, never. No.
So that's going to launch us. You're going to see the ad campaign kicking in. We're going to get a chance for you guys to talk to the coaches, talk to the athletic directors, and this is big. These guys are iconic.
Yes, they
are. In terms of college football, it doesn't get any bigger and better than these guys and their reputations and their one-loss records and all those things. So this is a good one. These are the blue bloods.
Yep.
These are the blue bloods, JP. I think Michigan is the all-time ratings leader in terms of broadcast.
Yep.
They just, for whatever reason, everybody wants to watch them play, and especially when they're playing Alabama.
Yeah. And obviously, with the 12-team playoff now, there's a lot of importance to those games. And outside of those games, I don't see a matchup that's even close to this one in terms of the blue bloods. And for me, that means a lot in terms of heads and beds, people coming in from outside. What's the sense are you getting from those fan bases? I mean, Michigan obviously had a bit of a down year, but they beat Ohio State. So it's almost as good as winning the national championship. So I would feel like they're energized. And for Alabama, it's a chance to come down to Tampa and really enjoy a nice time in the holiday season.
Yeah, the coach had a press conference the other day, and one of the things he mentioned is we're coming to play. Our guys are going to play, and we want to win. There's something about getting to that 10th win.
Yep.
And that's what Alabama is looking forward to. The playoffs are a great thing for college football, JP.
Yeah.
You have to admit you've never recalled a year where there was more interest and more conversation about the play, because there's 12 teams to talk about, and it's all single elimination, and that's going to be good for college football overall. So, and we are a part of the process as one of the bowl games, getting some excellent inventory right after the playoff teams. So as long as we can meet our mission, and our mission is to create an economic impact in the Tampa Bay area, help the hotels, restaurants, nightclubs, car rental agencies, help these guys fill up their rooms. The universities and the players are getting a wonderful experience. This destination is just spectacular. Not counting today, it's kind of overcast and rainy. But typically, this is one of the destinations that everybody wants to be a part of. So economic impact, giving these kids these experiences. We've paid the universities almost $180 million.
Wow.
That's a lot of money, JP.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And that's
even
going
for
to the universities, and that's helping, with Olympic sports, Title IX sports, and everybody. So we're proud of that. And the other thing that we're very active with is our charitable giving initiative, which you're aware of. Each year we give $500,000 to Bay Area needy organizations. And there's a lot in the Tampa Bay area that need help. So we've given over $4 million in the last 4 or 5, 6 years as a part of our charitable giving initiative. And we're really proud of that. Our board of directors, our members that buy the membership packages, this is something everybody should be proud of. And it's something we're really excited about. But we're looking forward to this matchup now. This is going to be a ball. Wait till those bands come stomping out of the end zone. Hail to the victors and all that stuff. This is going to be fun.
Oh, we lost JP.
We lost
Jim.
JP.
Sorry about that. Yeah, we lost JP.
Well, it's me and you.
It's me and you. It's me and you, Jim.
To keep this thing rolling.
And I'm telling you, you got to be excited, because I don't think all through this college football season, well, maybe for Michigan, we figured that was a chance. There is a chance there based on how they played, but I don't think anybody thought Alabama was going to miss the college football playoff this year. You had to be excited when you found out there was an opportunity to go out and get Alabama for Tampa.
Alabama is one of those iconic teams. They're really a good football team with a lot of 4- and 5-star players, and they got dinged a couple times, Oklahoma, and Vanderbilt. And you know what's happening? I think these players are, as they're moving around through the portal and the NIL issue, I think you're gonna see players from any level, and especially at top level, where these guys want to go find an opportunity where they get a chance to play.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to be tough for people to be undefeated, I believe, going forward, because a lot of the good backup 4 and 5 star players from these top teams are moving into other teams. Look at Indiana did. Indiana found a whole bunch of players that were ready to go and wanted to move. You know why? Because they wanted to play.
Yeah.
And now they're in the playoffs. So you can't keep all the good players like you could yesteryear.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got schools now, switching conferences and affiliations, which changes their bowl affiliations. Once you change conferences, it gives you guys more of an opportunity with your your affiliation with the SEC and the Big Ten. That's with the expansion for those two conferences. That gives you guys more chances now with some schools that you haven't had an opportunity to get before, which stands big for the future of the ReliaQuest Bowl with the affiliation of those two conferences. How exciting is that for you to maybe get some fresh meat coming into the bowl game here in the next few years?
It's great, and we want the playoffs to be a big success. Mm-hmm. We don't know how many teams are going to be in the playoffs after the next couple of years. But what we do know is there's a lot of good, deserving football teams that want to go to a beautiful destination like the Tampa Bay area, the gorgeous beaches up and down Pinellas County. They want a postseason experience. Okay. Yeah. We want to provide that experience. We want to keep being a part of a positive economic impact in the Tampa Bay area. And JP, you and I were talking about our charitable giving initiative. Yeah. And that's just something. We're really proud of that. But we're going to put on a show. The Big Ten and Alabama is going to put on a show. And their spirit squads and their cheerleaders and their bands, they're coming and they're going to take over Tampa Bay. They're going to be at Busch Gardens. They're going to be at Beach Day. They're going to be all over the place. And we're going to keep meeting our mission statement as we go forward. And the support of guys like you, to talk about the bowl and what it means to the community.
I want sorry, I dropped off there for a second, but I'm back. I think Stu had something to do with that. But anyway, I want you to know right now that Tim and I are available to personally chaperone the Alabama baton twirling team.
Yes.
We whatever security they need, that we're givers.
Right.
24/7, we are ready. So you just let them know.
For free.
And we're free.
We're
price
free,
is good.
Yeah,
we'll volunteer.
Let me make sure I make note of that.
Are we 1,000 on the list? No.
JB is back again for the 30th straight year.
I don't think we've ever offered up such a generous volunteering of our time like this, though. But I think it's important for the community that these ladies stay safe and know where they're going.
Me too. Wait till you guys see these bands come stomping down the field. These guys are.
I know it's so good.
Yeah. Alabama, everything about these guys is big. It's great. It's great for the Tampa Bay area. People are going to want to watch this game. They're going to see all kinds of neat things about the community as they're tuned into the broadcast. We're playing on New Year's Eve. We're kicking off at 12 noon. We're basically unopposed for most of the 3 hours. I think it's a Tony the Tiger Bowl comes in, after a few hours.
Tony the Tiger. It's great. Hey, you mentioned Kalen DeBoer said, Alabama coach, that his players are playing. Jalen Milroe's coming back for another season, so he'll be playing. And I think there has been, obviously, we saw this from Florida State last year, kind of a trend where guys don't play, and we saw what that did to the program, and that's when it started, to be quite honest. So I think coaches, players as well, I think are going to use that as a cautionary tale that if your players don't step up and play in these bowl games, it's a serious hit to your brand. It's a serious hit to college football, and it needs to stop. And I'm glad Coach DeBoer stand up and said, our guys are playing. I know Sharon Moore's the same way. Our guys are playing. So we expect as much as we can, a full complement for both of these teams as far as their players, correct?
Well, and with Jalen Milroe making the announcement he's coming back to Alabama next year, he'll be there in full force, ready to play too.
Right.
whatever it is, you got to remember there's a lot of 4 and 5-star players at Alabama, at Michigan. There are guys that are just ready to go.
Yep.
And sometimes when those guys get an opportunity to play, things happen for them the next year. So we know there was great players on these teams. The feeling is everybody wants to play. We're looking forward to it. They're coming to our community, and we're going to put on a terrific show. And again, these are the iconic guys. These are the blue bloods, and they're going to be all over our community, and they're going to bring their fans. So this is going to be a fun one. We appreciate you guys talking about us and promoting the bowl. That's important, of course. So we're ready. We got right now, Michigan is landing. The advance party is landing at Tampa International. They'll be here. They're going to meet with us in the office. 14 people from Michigan. They're going to go to the stadium. They're going to go to their hotel. They're going to go to the practice sites. There's a lot that goes on, to make sure everything is just right for the players and the coaches and the families. So we're in that process with the advance party. Alabama's party will come in later this evening. And then we'll have our big event. It's an invitation. It's a media. It's a kickoff for the media and the schools and the coaches. And here they come to Tampa Bay with the ReliaQuest Bowl.
Well, we will be there tomorrow. We'll get the interviews with Coach Moore and Coach DeBoer. We'll have that for our fans here on Friday, and we'll get a sense of college football. To me, it's my favorite sport. I think it's the most exciting sport. It's the most fan loyal sport. It's the most, I think, emotional sport. And when you have two programs like this coming to town, you're going to see that in full force, and it's going to be so much fun. So congrats, Jim, on another great matchup. The games are always great. For whatever reason, it's always a close
we always
game.
get good games.
It's crazy. I don't know. It's weird. It's like the Rose Bowl. It doesn't matter who plays. It's always going to be an iconic, memorable game. Your bowl has been the same thing. I mean, almost every year it's overtime, last drive. It just doesn't matter who's playing. It comes down to something really exciting. So I look forward to this one. It's going to be fun.
Great. Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Thank you, Jim.
time.
See you, brother. Thank you. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. But I'm sure you guys had a good chat. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did I get frozen and with a great face?
No, it just blacked out. You just went.
Damn.
Yeah, he was talking about the charity stuff, and he was on. I let him go on screen for a little bit, by himself, thinking you'd pop in, but when you didn't, I jumped in and.
Thank you for doing that.
About it.
Yeah, a couple
good guy right there. Great game, great matchup, man. Like we talked about before you came back on the air with the expansion of the Big Ten and the SEC and their affiliation with those. That's going to bring some opportunities for some new teams that he didn't quite have before.
Yeah,
Texas and Oklahoma and Oregon and all the other expansion the Big Ten did for some matchups in the future that they got to be excited about. And certainly the ReliaQuest, one of those just premier bowl games that New Year's Eve that you don't want to miss.
Yeah,
it's funny. I remember bowl season back when I was a little kid. Everybody, I'm going to go back for everybody maybe that isn't as old as us, JP, and doesn't remember when we had to have rabbit ears to get TV reception.
Yes,
my dad, and we didn't have a lot of TVs in our room. I think, or in our house, we had one in the living room, one in the bed, in their bedroom, and I had a little one in my bedroom, a little 13-inch Emerson TV that I bought. I saved up to buy at Eckerd Drugs, so I could have a TV in my room because my dad sure as hell wasn't going to buy me one, right?
Hey.
So he would move and it wasn't even up for discussion. It was a thing that we knew was going to happen. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, every TV was brought into the living room. He'd have them set up. The two big ones, well, I say big, they were like 24 inches, right? That's all we had back then. Next to each other, and then mine on top of one of those with the rabbit ears. And my dad would watch as many bowl games as he could possibly watch. None of our TVs were remote control except mine, and my dad didn't know how to use it. Well, so the two big TVs.
They had remote control. No.
Yeah, I was the remote control.
Get up and change the channel. That was the remote control.
But it was easy because there was only 4 channels, right, that we got here in Dallas, right? So the 3 networks and then an affiliate. So UHF, right. So that was my dad's watching experience for bowl games, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and it was just the 3 TVs on, and he would sit there with his scotch, with his Budweiser, smoking his cigarettes in his recliner, with our dog in his lap, and that was his bowl game experience, and I've
Well,
never forgotten that.
That's great nostalgia, man. And I remember just it's just the importance of the bowls. Like, it wasn't just one game. It wasn't even 3 games. Like, every game, like the Gator Bowl was a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, the Outback Bowl was a big deal.
Yeah, they weren't just spare bowls with spare teams going to
No.
play. These had national championship implications most of the time,
Yeah.
And the Cotton Bowl was a big game back then because Texas playing for a national title, or Arkansas, or whoever in the Southwest Conference always had national championship implications. Sadly, the Aggies weren't usually involved in those, but that's why you had to watch all 3 to see what was going on, and that affected the voters, and that's what mattered, and it's just a different landscape now, and not to say it's better or worse. It's just different. I'm trying to get used to it still. I think somewhere my dad's probably rolling over in his grave with the whole college football landscape and what's happening. But, for our generation and for the young people, it is what it is. And I can't say that it's better or worse, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, you got more to choose from, but is more necessarily better? Nah, not in this case. I don't think so. Because the other ones mattered more. Gosh, I've been to so many bowl games. I'm trying to remember the first bowl game I went to. How about this? First bowl game I went to, 1983 Orange Bowl.
Oh, wow.
That's right. That game. Nebraska, Miami. Miami was a 23-point underdog, the mighty Nebraska, maybe even 27-point underdog. And there it was at the end of the game, Turner Gill trying to run an option play because as Tom Osborne goes for 2 points and goes for the win instead of a tie that would have given him probably the national championship. But he goes for the win and they don't get it. And Miami comes from like number 7 to win their first national championship in the Orange Bowl. That was crazy. That place was bananas. I'll never forget it. What a game. 28 or 31, 30, I forget the actual score. It was 1 point game. Dean Steinkühler running a fumble Ruski. Golly, what a game. What an atmosphere. And Citrus Bowls, FSU and Georgia played in the Citrus Bowl. Kevin Butler lined up for a 71-yard field goal that would have won the game and came up like a half a yard short. I mean, it was Sugar Bowls, Fiesta Bowls, just so many good ones. And Gator Bowl, the FSU played Oklahoma State one year. This great memories of these bowl games, which by the way, you could walk up and get a ticket for $20. You just walk up. We drove from Hollywood, Florida. Me and my friend Kevin Woodall one day, we're laying on the beach in Hollywood, Florida, and we're like, let's go to the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. We got up, threw the stuff in the back of the car, drove up there, scalped a couple tickets, and we're in. That's
how it was. My first bowl game I went to was the 81 Cotton Bowl, Alabama versus Baylor. There was a chance A&M was going to get in, and that's why we were already planning on going. But then when Alabama got in, of course, my dad played for Bear Bryant, at A&M. That's why we were already going anyway. So we went to the game. Alabama routed the Bears 30-2. Grant Taft was the coach of the Bears back then. And we got to hang out after the game. I didn't know why we were sitting around waiting, but after the game, we're sitting there in the stands. Bear Bryant walks up to our seats and sits down and hangs out with my dad and me for, 30 minutes or an hour in the stands
at
the Cotton Bowl after the game.
How about that?
Yeah, and it was pretty. At the time, I was 10. Like I knew he was the coach of the Crimson Tide, but I didn't really know what was going on. But I learned obviously later how special it was for my dad to get to hang out with him and all of that stuff. It's probably I had one of a handful of times I got to meet him, before he died. But it was that made that Cotton Bowl pretty memorable to me, man.
You think?
Especially after the fact. Like at the time, I didn't really know, but in my late teens, I'm like, holy crap, we sat with Bear Bryant in the Cotton Bowl, like in the bleachers. It was pretty cool.
It was a 91 Cotton Bowl. I was working at the FSU radio network and we played A&M.
Yep.
That year. It was like 10-9, wasn't it? It was really low scoring game. And it was colder than a witch's tit in Nebraska, bro. It was like 8 degrees, I think it was. It was like, and the press box was open.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to Cotton Bowl. Yeah, that was another. But that was a fun week in Dallas. They did it up right. That was, I think it was my first real trip to Dallas. That was a good time. So
10-2, yeah, 10-2.
10-2. Was that it? God,
10-2.
10-2.
Bobby Batten over RC Slocum.
RC Slocum, that's right. Good God.
10-2 Florida State, 10-1 Aggies.
Yeah, that's a big bowl
battle, just like you would have expected back then, right?
Well, I think Peter Tom Willis, I think, was our quarterback that year. If I'm not, or was it Casey?
Sean Jackson, running back Sean Jackson was your MVP.
Yep. That big old Sean Jackson, boy, he was a load. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to some of the comments on the Rays, on field and off field. Hunter Tubbs, ooh, is it one of the guys, a Davis Island resident? Oh, I have heard the same thing. We will discuss.
Speaking of Davis Islands, that's where I'm looking at homes right now, thinking about moving out there.
To Tampa?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Wow, you are big money. My old haunt,
looking for a garage apartment, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know if you can afford that, bro. All right, quick break. We'll be back in 3. Stay with us. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing, reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Tarpon Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go! Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here. And don't forget the Golden Diamond Source. They have a new men's section. Yeah, they knocked down a wall, the whole thing. They got new watches. They got new area for rings and diamond necklace, all kinds of great stuff there for the guys. And, of course, it is the holidays, and they've got a great selection, some beautiful diamond necklaces, diamond pieces. If you're looking to get engaged, don't forget 5 years interest-free. You can get a $5,000 diamond for just $84 a month. Everything you need is there at the Golden Diamond Source. Easy in, easy out. Don't have to deal with the mall traffic, and it's a local company, right? So keep it local here during the holidays. You got to spend the money anyway. Might as well keep it in the neighborhood, right? We love Amazon. They do what they do, but let's keep it here in the neighborhood if we can, right?
And you know what? It's not just the ladies that like bling from time to time.
That's
Sometimes
right.
us men like to be treated nice. So maybe give some hints to your lady.
Mm-hmm.
Give some hints to your lady that you would like some bling, and tell her,
Yeah.
maybe be specific when you give the hints so she doesn't buy the wrong thing. But then head over to Golden Diamond Source and have her pick out something nice for you.
Like I'm looking at a diamond studded nose ring. I think it's gonna really complete my look.
I'm trying to find some nice pewter nipple rings that would match some earrings that I was planning on getting. So, head over to the Golden Diamond Source.
Did not have nipple rings on the bingo card for today's show, but thank you for adding to that. Absolutely.
You never know.
Fantastic. You never know. All right, let's do some comments, shall we?
Let's do it.
With our lovely commenters here today. We love you guys. Let's start with Bucs Basement. Morning to you, my friend JP. I don't know if you looked at the 2025 home away schedule for Bucs, but if they win the South, it's a murderer's row of 8 playoff teams. No, thank you. Let the Falcons have that schedule. Okay, Bucs Basement, I love you. So now you say you'd rather not make the playoffs because the schedule is going to be harder next year, which would make it harder to make the playoffs.
I don't get it. What am I missing? Come on, Bucs Basement. You're better than that.
How about we just take the playoffs if we can get them?
Show some faith in your team, too, man.
Oh, my God. And not only that, well, I know by Bucs Basement, because he knows if we make the playoffs, the top bowls will probably be retained. He doesn't want that. I get it. I totally understand it. There's an argument to be made to be stuck in mediocrity. I wouldn't necessarily call making it to the playoffs 5 years in a row mediocrity. I mean, we're the only NFC team to have done 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
But I get it. Is it, would we be making the playoffs every year if we were in any other division? That's a no. And that's
by the way, if you make the playoffs this season, it's going to be with like 10 or 11 wins.
Right.
So Todd Bowles might have broken out from that mediocrity. He won't be 500 again.
Right.
He'll be pretty, he'll be better. So
we'll have to step it up. I don't know. You know what, though, Tim? As bad as the Falcons are, we might do it with 9 again.
I know.
9 might get it done because they're bad. They have tailspin badly.
By the way, who predicted that with Kirk Cousins at quarterback? Yeah.
You did. We did. You did.
I think we did. Yes, both of us.
We did. Yeah. I mean, well, just from the very beginning, I thought that's a bad idea. Why would you do that with all the with the quarterbacks that were out there? And Kirk Cousins, 36 years old, coming off an Achilles tendon. I mean, the only time Kirk's ever been good when everything was right for him. Good teams, good offensive line, weapons. To his credit, But to predict that he was going to come into Atlanta first year of all that stuff, I thought it was completely overhyped, and I think we ended up being right with that deal. The Bucs Basement, I don't know where you're going with that. Oh, I love you. Here we go. He continues. I'd much rather have an easier schedule than get that schedule after being one and done in the playoffs. As for this Sunday, don't make me laugh. Harbaugh versus Bowles. Put all the money on the Chargers. Well, now you're making sense. I kind of get where you're going. If you're one and done in the playoffs, what good is it? Here's the thing. From year to year, playoff teams change. Like only 50% of the playoff teams typically make it the next year. So even though the schedule looks hard, it may not be hard.
Yeah.
Because, teams lose quarterbacks. It's a year-to-year league. It's a week-to-week league, right? So don't get caught up in next year's schedule, what looks hard, what doesn't look hard. I mean, you look at the Bucs schedule this year. We thought, oh, my God, look at all these playoff teams, all these first-place teams. It's ended up being pretty manageable. So and
the Bucs are on a roll of 3 straight division titles, and you've managed to continue to make the playoffs playing that first-place schedule every year. Why do you think it'd be different next year? Like, I mean, I see the argument, but it's kind of short-sighted. Like, I agree.
Yeah. And he continues, so I'm going to continue his argument. He says, we'd be in much better position losing the South this season, ending this Bowls regime of mediocrity, because the only thing that's kept Bowls here is being the kind of S-Mint, a.k.a. NFC South. I get that. I totally get that. And I think, let's let the season play out, and we'll see where we're at. I mean, people are crowing, oh, look what they've done the last 3 games. You beat a terrible Giants team. Credit, you smashed them. You should have lost to a Panthers team that had 2 wins at the time, 3 wins at the time, and a quarterback in Bryce Young that is getting better. I get it, but they gifted you that game. And if you lose that game, Anthony Nelson doesn't rip that ball out, you're not making the playoffs. It's because yes, I think they're going to lose to the Chargers this week. I do. So yeah, and then you struggled again last week with the Raiders team into the fourth quarter. It's a 1-score game at home. So is Todd Bowles doing a bang-up job? They're winning the games they should win. Maybe not even the fashion they should win it. So let's look at the whole body of work when the season's over, and I'm sure that the Glazers will, and they'll decide where they want to go with it. Tony Dungy got fired going to the playoffs every year and having a hell of a lot better record than Todd Bowles has overall. So let's keep that in mind. Regarding,
it could be worse. It could be worse for you guys. You could live in Dallas and be Cowboys fans, where Mike McCarthy went 6-10, 12-5, 12-5, 12-5. You're 5-8, and JP, there are rumblings now that Mike McCarthy may come back on a new deal next year.
And you guys are not excited about that.
No one in Dallas. Look, and I love Mike McCarthy. He's a great guy. I think he's a top tier. I do think he's a top tier head coach. All right. He's had 4 years now to get it done here in Dallas, and he hasn't. It's time.
How many
to move
playoff
on.
Wins?
Since he's been here, 1.
Yeah. In 3 12-5 teams, a roster that's pretty damn good.
1 playoff win.
You got to be better. I mean,
yeah.
Every situation is different. And I think at some point, coaches get tuned out. They lose their edge. You got to move on. Michael LaRue, good morning to you, says the Times seem to suggest that the Rays might be done spending this offseason. There are still so many holes on this team. Oh, my God, dude. We talked about this. And Mark Topkin wrote an article today in the Times where basically Neander is saying, we're going to count on the guys we had last year to be better. Like, do we need to go over those numbers last year? How pathetic the offense was. It was literally better only than the historically bad White Sox. Dude, it was horrible. Even if you get a 20% increase in what you were last year, which is unlikely, you're still awful offensively. Like, this lineup just screams 2 runs a game and 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position. You can't go back into this season, even with this pitching staff, and expect. I mean, I don't even want to watch those games. I mean, that the lineup is awful. Now, hopefully, playing outside with a short porch in right field will help Josh Lowe, will help Brandon Lau, will help any left-handed hitter. I get that, but man, you're playing in a division with real teams, and they got hitters too. And and you're right. I mean, we can. I lost my Neander stuff here. I'll try to get it back that we can play.
Yeah, I never did see it on there.
Let me see if I can get this back to, because he talks about this and also talks about playing outside. Let me see if this is the one. Here we go.
Is stacked to where we're going to be home a lot early.
Oh, this is about playing outside.
On the road, for the summer, we're going to experience a 4-team West Coast trip, which will be different. And I think, look, if it's multiple years of this, you might face some additional challenges. I think the group's excited about being in the area, being able to stay in the area. Right? You put it in perspective. The 2 storms did a lot of damage and had just terrible effects on the area above and beyond baseball, right? So you put it in perspective, and then the chance to stay there to play outdoor games. There's a lot of excitement for that. As you said, the Yankees have been incredible to us. Their home clubhouse is being renovated. It will be as good a home clubhouse as there is in baseball. Our players like to hear that. Our left-handed hitters, Jonathan Aranda, Brandon Lau, they like Josh Lowe. They like the dimensions a little bit better than the Trop. We're going to be okay.
Whoops. My bad.
I think that was all of it. So, I mean, he's embracing, moving outside, and I think the players are going to love it. The ones that have talked about it, they love it, and the vibe is going to be incredible. A packed house, an intimate ballpark like that, 12,000 seats. They got a lot of good outfield seats and cabanas, and a great right field. The worst thing about it's going to be trying to get tickets, and that's a good thing in this area, right? To be
told you I may have to come out for a Ranger series or something.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be super fun. And here's Neander talking about the lineup and what they've done so far, and the fact. Listen to the guys making jokes about how he can't spend money. And you can trust me, before they go live, he's like, oh man, too bad you're not in it on some Max Fried or anybody else. So here it is. Check it out.
Year by the excellence you guys normally have, but you're still virtually a 500 team, and that's like your off season.
Yeah, we've been fortunate to have a good run of 5 straight postseason appearances, a World Series appearance, for a couple of disappointing early exits, but this year was a disappointment to us, and we've reached a place where 80 wins is a disappointment, and we're fortunate about where we've been competitively. We got some stuff in front of us here as we look ahead, but if it's Cashy, our group, we're confident we're going to get back to where we were the last 5 years.
He's been such a mainstay. One of my good friends played with Cash in 2008 with the Red Sox. We were kind of bench buddies. We had a great time, and just saw him
We got to get him up here.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Look at him hobnobbing
yep,
up there.
Yep.
So, the biggest thing with Cash, man, I always knew this guy was so good with people, was such a great leader, and he's really been the guy you guys have leaned on, I believe, going into his 11th season. What about Kevin Cash that you love for the future of the Rays?
The guy you knew then is the same guy he is now, right? The consistency, the energy, the love for the game. He was born to do it. You know, he is as authentic as they come. And look, like I said, we're playing and very thankful to the Yankees for allowing us, us to use their facility, and we're gonna lean into this. We got to try to galvanize this group. I think we have the right personnel, both staff and players, to do it. But he's at the forefront of it, and he's never had a bad day at the park for the most part. And we're gonna need a lot of good days this year, and I think he's gonna bring it for us.
By the way, condolences on just missing out on Max Fried, but you do have.
Wow.
Yeah, you do have.
They're all laughing.
In front of the guy rotation. Actually, it seems like an addition coming back. Shane McClanahan. Tell me about where he is physically and what you can expect in 25.
Yeah, we'll take Shane. And our path is a little bit different, but we found a way.
Shane's
good to go. He exited last year with a clean bill of health, a healthy off season, going to come into camp as a healthy pitcher.
And I can't.
So you'll have your typical build up, and we'll get him in the year. And I don't know. I'm talking with Snides and Cashy, our medical team, probably looking at 150-ish innings to kind of land in the right spot, but he'll be ready to go from day one, and can't wait to have him back.
Yeah, look at the rotation overall. Also, Taj Bradley, Ryan Pepiot, Shane Boz, Springs as well. You got to feel pretty good, Eric, when healthy, how good this rotation stacks up.
Rasmussen, Littell, McClanahan. We got 7 that are really, really good. Not just back end guys, but solid middle to front, and that's going to be our anchor this year. Our bullpen. We've got some guys last year that stepped up. They're a little younger, but have explosive stuff, and then we got to find a way to score more runs, and that's kind of what we've been after and talking through this offseason.
Yeah, we got to find more ways to score runs. And that's the problem. Yeah. So it's frustrating for Rays fans to sit here and watch teams sign big time players, spend money, and you've got this historic pitching staff. Like back in 2020, instead of, you lose in the World Series, and instead of paying Charlie Morton and going out and adding to your team, you break it down. I mean, it's just criminal. And it's all about, it becomes all about money. Man, I can't wait till hopefully one day when it's not about that, we can really enjoy baseball the way it's supposed to be.
You are so excited about a change of ownership.
I mean, who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be if you're a Rays fan, Yeah. And my goodness, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's like we had Jason Romano on earlier in the show. He's an agent now, played for the Rays, played for the Rangers. He understands what this is all about. And, he talks to the Rays, and he said he texted with Neander earlier this morning, and they love to have Kyle Tucker, but they're not going to give up 4 prospects for a guy that they can't re-sign for 1 year. That would be dumb for the Rays to do that. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
But imagine in a real world where you can actually bid for this guy, wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be awesome? What else we got? Oh, some more Along the baseball lines, Michael LaRue saying Soto can't hit, but he's a two-tool player. Yeah, it's like Kyle Tucker should get more money, like a lot more money. William Madden says Juan Soto can opt out after 5 years. Baseball needs salary cap.
He does have an out, which is ridiculous. Of that, he has an out of that contract. It's ridiculous.
If he uses that, I mean, I guess it means he's playing well.
Can you imagine worst move ever by a player on his contract?
Owners like Stu ruin the fans who want to support the team, but every year it's the same BS story. There must be a floor of spending to flush these owners out. In the meantime, MLB needs to oust Stu now. That's from James. Could not agree more. Daniel Rivera, you have to believe that behind the scenes, Manfred is meeting with Hillsborough, and I would suspect with potential buyers, including that billionaire you referenced, JP, months ago. Yes, as I said, I confirmed it again yesterday and this morning. The commissioner is not happy with what's going on with Stu in this deal. It's one of the reasons he's talking to the city and Pinellas County, maybe not to pave the way to a stadium in St. Pete, but to pave the way towards a sale of this team. That's what I'm hearing. I'm not reporting it as fact. It's just so you look at these meetings that are going on. I wouldn't necessarily put 2 and 2 together and say he wants to force this deal in St. Pete. I don't necessarily think that's the case. And judging from the mayor's quote about keeping the Rays in the local community instead of St. Pete, that might tell you a little something as well.
Yeah, for sure.
James says MLB should at least make teams spend a minimum of 120 to 150 million on players. I mean, that's really nothing for the Rays. That could be the difference between World Series or losing the first round. He's absolutely right, folks. With central fund money, with revenue sharing, with all the money that these teams make, and it's huge business. Baseball has more than doubled their revenue in the last 5 years. And every team benefits from that. So when you have revenues that the Rays have, even over $300 million, spending half of that or less than half of that on players is not unreasonable, especially when you're not paying for a stadium, which is the Rays have never paid for their own stadium at Tropicana Field. They don't have a $700 million mortgage. Most teams are paying for their stadiums and still spending $180 million to $250 million on players. I mean, it's crazy. But that narrative has never really taken hold here because it's a narrative. This narrative that they don't have money is the one that is printed most often. I guess they don't even print anymore. Christopher Cole says Cubs ownership isn't going to spend money if they don't have to, and that's the Ricketts. They have money to spend. Yeah, baseball should force their owners to spend money. The thing is, the owners make the rules. So they're not going to do that to themselves. I mean, the Players Association can try to push it. They have ways to file grievances against teams that don't spend it, but it never turns into anything. Christopher Cole says, true, but the only reason they got that was because their young players were still under their rookie contracts, and ever since they built that hotel, they've been pinching pennies, talking about the Cubs. Yes, that is true. James says, Stu makes Hugh Culverhouse look like Eddie DeBartolo. You're wrong. John Hill says Chloe Holiday is a Crimsonette. Did you know that? That's what they're called. The Alabama on-twirlers. They're the Crimsonettes.
Should I know who Chloe Holiday is?
Should I? I think I should. I don't know. I think we have to look her up now.
Let's find out.
All right. I'll put the top people on that.
Apparently she's an internet personality, which means she's
I think I've seen her stuff on Instagram.
Oh yeah, she's got Alabama stuff all over the place, though. Yeah,
well, let's see it.
Oh, you want to see?
Well, of course the people want to see, not me, but the people do.
Oh, we're doing this for the people. All right, let me find one that's okay to show on
G-rated. Wow,
mainstream sports.
Just got 50 more followers, I think.
Let's see. Here we go. Save that to the computer. Have to delete my safe search.
Wow.
Transferring over to StreamYard.
Model. Is she? I don't think.
There she is right there.
Okay. Well,
she's all right.
Pretty smile. She's all right.
She's all right. I've had better. I mean, I've had a lot worse, but I've definitely had better.
Hello, Chloe. Look forward to seeing you in town.
Not going to lie.
Hunter Tubb says, JP, is one of the Tampa people looking to purchase the Rays a Davis Island's resident? I have heard the same thing. Oh. So you're hearing chatter over there at Palmacia. Very interesting. Very interesting. But I'm making it up. Yeezy says, I don't get fans who don't want to go to the playoffs. Jets fans would sacrifice their children to be one and done in the playoffs. They probably would. Probably would. Here, they probably sacrifice some of their children for much less. Bucs win. Bucs beat the Chargers. Nathan, I love you, Bell, but I don't think that's happening. Mike H, outdoor baseball in South Florida, free giveaway. Each game should be a poncho, sombrero, and a personal fan. Buccaneers and I will be invading Tim Ham's Cowboy Land. You guys got to hook up when he gets out there.
Are you coming out or no?
I don't think so. There's too much holiday stuff going on. Kids,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, again, my kids are coming in. My kids are coming in town, so I can't wait.
Oh, there you go.
Rick says the Rays may try and kidnap some Yankees A minors to play for cheap. Just keep them away from Wander Franco. Oh, minor leaguers. Oh, sorry. Thought you were talking about something else, Rick. You meant the A-League minor leaguer. Okay. Hunter Tubb says, how about that condolences comment about missing out on Max Fried? Sad, but hey, we got Danny Jansen. Did you hear him laugh at it? Just laughing at him?
They all chuckled. Yes.
Because they're just like, I mean, can you imagine Eric Neander with a pile full of cash at the winter meetings? Do you imagine the deals that he could make, not just free agency, but trades? Like if he could add salary to the team, trading players and trading some of the pitching, but you'd have to add some salary to get real hitters. See, people don't understand it's not just free agency. He's handcuffed in making trades because he starts to do these trades and he's like, oh, I'm going to have to add $10 million of salary. Oh, can't do it. I mean, imagine having to work under those circumstances.
So do you think
gets to the playoffs every year?
Do you think it's like a joke around the league where, general managers know the teams that don't spend money?
Of course.
And so say the GM from Milwaukee, right? They're like trying to go get this starting pitcher or even a reliever, a top tier reliever, right? Maybe a closer. And they're talking to the agent or they're talking to their staff, their scouting staff, and they're like, all right, we really like this guy. Who are we up against here, you think? What are you hearing? Tampa's interested. All right, look, just up the offer like another $1 million. We're good.
Yeah, can you imagine if he actually could deal with at a major league level with a payroll that's even close to average? How much better this team would be? I mean, it's not rocket science. And the worst part about it is they have the money. Yeah. They have plenty of money. He
wants to keep it that way.
Going in the back pocket.
Anybody a yacht like Jerry has.
I know. Tally made an appearance, evidently in the background. Yeah, I saw her kicking around there. That's her little spot right there. She loves it during the show. All right, let's do one more break. We're going to come back on the other side. We're going to get to a bunch of other things that we missed yesterday because of our technical difficulties. So some college football stuff, maybe some other interesting topics that people are kicking around. We are brought to you by the great folks at Cafe Paradiso. If you're looking for a great place to take the family, the kids are coming back into town and they want a traditional Italian meal, no place better than Cafe Paradiso. Our good friend Paolini. Traditional Italian, the great veal dishes. There it is. Look at that food. Oh my God, that night was so good. Holy moly! There I see the lasagna. There's the veal marsala, the veal piccata,
the wine,
the fettuccine alfredo, the branzino. Oh, Cafe Paradiso, number 3 on the top 10 list for Open Table. So go to Open Table, get a reservation, tell them JP sent you. Back in 3.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is 2-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Gettys Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Gettys Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discrete treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Hey, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There's been a lot of talk about lab-grown diamonds. Oh, they're just like the real thing. No, they're not. They're not the real thing. They're lab-grown. They're fake. You want to give your honey a fake diamond? Not a good way to start off the relationship, folks. Take my word for it. Get the real thing, and no place better to shop than the Gold and Diamond Source. And remember, if you shop anywhere else, you don't know if it's real. You don't know what you're buying. The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for over 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors in our community. You know it's real. It's the only place to shop. And if you're planning to purchase for the holidays, don't forget to take advantage of our layaway offer at the Gold and Diamond Source. You can reserve your favorite piece now and pay in easy installments, making your holiday shopping stress-free. As always, we offer up to 5 years interest-free financing for just $84 a month when you finance $5,000. It's the only place to shop for the holidays. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Let's go! Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Go there and get your appointment and your concierge medicine. And the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If you're in an accident, have Scott Jeeves working for you. He's aggressive. He is he's local, and they get results. And that matters, being a local attorney, folks. So knows how to deal with the local legal landscape, so to speak. So any issues at all, any legal issues, call the Jeeves Law Group. They'll give you a free case evaluation. JeevesLawGroup.com. All right, partner, we did not get the chance to talk about the Leon Letting of the Cowboys game on Monday night. What a disaster. Although, as we know, the big news was Jamar Chase getting 42 points and myself vanquishing the great Hall of Famer John Smoltz, finally winning my media division of the prestigious MFFL.
The curse is broken, right?
The curse is broken.
The monkey is off your back, Steve Young.
I was so scared. I was so scared. All the signs pointed towards a W, and Smoltz came on the show and said, you should have nothing to worry about, but I heard that before.
I mean, against the Cowboys secondary, come on. You should have no worries whatsoever.
That worked out very well. But
I wanted to start this conversation, though, with a little Simpsons talk.
I didn't watch any of that. It doesn't intrigue me.
So I'm intrigued by when they do the sports and then they do the alternate, like Nickelodeon does this a lot. Well, I don't know if it's a lot, but I've seen them do where they're almost like cartoon football players, they did this thing with the NHL, which was really, really cool. And I actually ended up watching more of because it looked like you're watching a kid's video game because the players kind of have the big heads, and the small bodies, and it's all real time. However they orchestrate that technologically, it's you're watching the actual game. And it's kind of cool. Like it's a good change from watching just all the other stuff. And I thought, The Simpsons, I'll give it a shot because it's the Cowboys. Dan Orlovsky was on the broadcast, which I enjoy Dan Orlovsky immensely. We have some back and forths on X and probably get him on the show here one of these days coming up. Just talk about whatever the hell he wants to talk about. And look, I love Mina Kimes. She is one of my, that's her calling me right now. I love Mina Kimes. I love watching Mina Kimes. I love listening to Mina Kimes. I love her show. I follow her. Well, she's not on X anymore because she went over to that Blue Sky platform, which I swear to God, she has a part ownership stake in because that's all she does.
It's ridiculous.
But and I don't know who the play-by-play guy was doing on the Simpsons Cowboys Bengals broadcast. I've never heard of him before. He was fine. For some reason, I could not get into watching this and listening to Mina Kimes on the broadcast. Like, I don't know why. Again, I love everything she does. I just could not do it. I got tired of the freaking Simpson references. I got tired of Bart and Homer playing quarterback for the teams or whatever. I gave it about half the first quarter. I might not even have that much. I just couldn't do it. I could not do it. Like I said, normally I love those little cartoony things, but for some reason I just couldn't do it. I had to switch. Part of it was because I was covering the game, right? I'm taking notes, and I can't take this seriously.
I don't get the whole thing, but I'm not a Simpsons fan.
No, and I'm not either anymore. I used to be.
But that
40
the
years
ending
ago
was the most, as some people have suggested, the most Homer thing ever by the Cowboys to block a punt in that situation. And you're like, oh my God, they're going to win the game. They block the punt and then they touch the ball as it goes past the line of scrimmage, which any idiot knows you cannot do.
Well, you'd be surprised how many people don't know that rule, JP.
If you play in the National Football League and you're on special teams and you don't know that rule, that's a coaching problem.
No, players know that rule. And look, Awarie, the Cowboys player that touched the ball, look, he was just elevated, okay? He's not a rookie. He's played like almost 40 games in the NFL, mostly on special teams. He knows that rule, all right? He was just trying to make a play, and I get it, man. I can't fault guys for trying to make a play, but you got to know the situation. If you're going to reach down to pick up that ball, by God, you better freaking pick up that ball, right? Yeah. Otherwise, don't even try it. Don't be a hero. But I hate to fault a guy for trying to make a play. Your first game in, you want to, impress the coaches. Here's the funny story that came out of that game Monday night, JP. Apparently, we have reports that Jerry Jones in the locker room went up to special teams coach John Fossil, Bones Fossil, the son of the great Giants coach John Fossil, and asked him to explain why the Cowboys didn't get the ball after the block punt.
He didn't know the rule?
Jerry Jones wanted to know, hey, why didn't we get the ball? They didn't recover it past the first down marker. Which, if they do, it's their ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just advanced it past so it's a first down. But it was like 4th and 20, right? It was ridiculous. But apparently Jerry Jones didn't know the rule because he asked John Fossil, Bones Fossil, to explain why didn't we get the ball? We should have had the ball. Why didn't we get the ball? Like he had no clue.
Does that shock you?
No. And you know what? None of us heard that or surprised by it. Not one of us.
Thank God for the Glazers every day that we don't have an owner
But look,
like that.
it was a reversal of roles of sorts for the Cowboys and Bengals because the Bengals, while Joe Burrow is having this Pro Bowl career season, they're not winning games. They're losing those games, right, that they should be winning. This time they found a way to win. The Cowboys found a way to lose. Cowboys fans don't give a flip right now at this point about wins and losses.
Mm-hmm.
They hate to lose on national TV on a Monday night game. The Cowboys are 1-6 now at home after a 16-game home winning streak over the past 2 seasons. You're 1-6 this year, but it's just a reversal of roles. And look, I've never been we had this discussion the other day. I've never been the biggest Joe Burrow fan. I don't dislike the guy. I just haven't paid any attention to him, right? Other than college and the Heisman and the national championship. I knew he would be good, but I just feel like the Bengals are a really good team. We just don't see it. And other than that one Super Bowl loss, right, the Super Bowl appearance and the Super Bowl loss, they still get all of the love for being a top-tier AFC team, and they're just not playing like it. Is that on the coach? Is that on the players? Zach Taylor's probably gone after this year. I don't know if that's warranted or guaranteed or not.
How do you have one of the best quarterbacks, top 3 quarterback, best receiver, highest sacker in the league, and you're, what are they, 5-8 now, right? 5-8.
Same as the Cowboys.
It's in it, and I don't think Zach Taylor's a terrible coach. It's just I don't. It's kind of organizational. They've had a lot of bad breaks this year. That happens in football. It's just one of those years for the Bengals. But usually, there's just something about the organization. An organization, they're not going to pay T. Higgins. They don't. It's just organizational. The bad organizations seem to have bad luck and do bad things, and they're not. I mean, their defense is not great overall, but
yeah. Well,
it's weird to see a team that.
Did you see the stat on Monday night they showed going into the game? Joe Burrow was only like the 5th quarterback in the history of the league to have at least 30 touchdowns and 5 or less interceptions going into week 13, week 14, like in history. And the other 5, and some of these quarterbacks had done it multiple times. I think Aaron Rodgers has done it like 3 times. Tom Brady was on that list. Drew Brees was on that list. Every single other quarterback in every other single season it had been done was at least like 12-1.
Yeah.
At the worst.
Crazy.
And most of them were undefeated. Joe Burrow's at the time going into the game was 4-8. Like
it's insane. And that's just weird. And a lot of, and by the way, another missed blatant face mask call in the game. It just, it's the officiating in the league is just bizarre at this point. It's no other way
and
to
it's
say it.
bizarre because of the calls they're missing, right? We've seen missed holes, but when you're missing a guy's head spinning around and facing the wrong way, especially the quarterback that everybody is watching.
Crazy. Bolts lost last night 2-1 to Edmonton. Draisaitl and McDavid got goals in what was really a weird game and a bad game for the Bolts. It was kind of fun to watch. I mean, it was up and down hockey, like right and left, chances right and left. The Bolts had plenty of chances. Edmonton had way more odd man rushes than you would ever want. Vasi may have played his best game of the year last night and lost 2-1. That was not a great defensive game. But there was one stat last night that they showed that I thought was really interesting. Last year, after 21 games, the Bolts were minus 17 in 5-on-5. This year, they're plus 25.
Whoa.
How about that?
How about Braden Point?
He's been phenomenal.
9 points in his last 3 games. Over his last 10 games, 10 goals and 17 points.
Yeah, he's 3rd in the league in goals now. But they only scored 1 last night. They had plenty of opportunities. Skinner win goal for them was really good, and Vasi was amazing. It was a fun up and down game. But Cooper he's like, that was bad hockey. That was too many odd man rushes, and it was that. But from an entertainment standpoint, it was kind of fun to watch. But they lose that one, so they're now 1-1 on the road trip. But not the way you want to play the game last night, the way the Bolts have been playing.
Did you see the bizarre history that this game contained?
Oh, yes.
The game,
the last 8 Art Ross Trophy winners played in this game. The last time that happened was back in '97.
Yep.
Right when Gretzky and
Lemieux and Yager.
Yeah. How about that?
Crazy.
Yeah, and it's a 2-1 game. I was trying to bet the over last night.
Just scoring leaders. Yeah, that's crazy.
By the way, the Bucs picked up Deion Jones, former Falcons linebacker, because they have no linebackers left. It was funny. Bowles was even laughing in his Monday interview that he did about he's just, he's running into one linebacker sets out there. He goes, it's basically saying it's not some kind of genius thing we're doing. It's like we're just smoke and mirrors. We're trying to put it all together. And that's where I give him a lot of credit. I mean, they haven't been world beaters, but this team is so freaking banged up. And now they got to go to the Chargers in the next 2 weeks, play without Antoine Winfield Jr. I said this the other day, Timmy, and can they go 3-1? They can. They can't go 4-0. That's not happening. 3-1. I hope they do it. They go 3-1. They win. I think they win the division. I don't think the Falcons are running the table. So they're 1 game ahead of them. So obviously, if they're tied, they have the tiebreaker. But I think 2-2 is more likely, to be quite honest. with these injuries. I mean, I just don't know how you keep playing. I think the Chargers are going to get them pretty good, even though they haven't been a great second half team and they don't score a lot of points.
The running game right now is ridiculous, and you're having trouble with that.
Yeah, the running game's ridiculous. They're the best scoring defense in football. The Bucs are going to have to hold them to 17 points to win this game, and I don't see this Bucs defense without Antoine Winfield Jr., without any linebackers. They're just hurting. I mean, they're really hurting right now, and hopefully Tyke Smith can continue to play, but yeah, they're just banged up, and I don't know if they can keep doing it. To be quite honest. There's a few other things I was going to try to get to, but we can save that for another day.
We can do college football playoff talk tomorrow, as well as Brett Favre and Mark.
Yeah,
we need to talk about that tomorrow.
And Thomas Castellanos is making his visit here today, and I saw a picture of him. Pat Burnham put it up. I reposted it, and the thread is just like every FSU people's like, no. He's a running back. He's not a quarterback. It's weird though. It's like Gus. He left UCF under Gus. Why? Like, what are we doing here? I mean, I think you got to entertain him. See who's out there and who's the best fit. Bring him in, but
yeah,
I hope that's not the choice for FSU. And they're losing Luke Kromenhoek. So anyway, Mike H says, any predictions on the Wander trial? Dominica is so corrupt he could pay to get off. Why has he not done that?
Yeah, then why hasn't it already happened if that's going to be the case?
Yeah, I would think that he would have done that. But, what's interesting is, what if he gets off?
Yeah, no charges. All charges dropped.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, if you're the Rays, you have
He's
to.
He's going to play, right?
He's got to play. He's got a contract.
Well, does the league then enter? But the league can intervene, though, and go, look, we know there were no charges filed, but our internal investigation says some fishy stuff happened. I mean, they won't say it that way, but.
They've suspended players before for not having the criminal charges.
Yeah,
but the contract would still be valid, which
you'd have to pay them, right? You'd have to pay
$160 million. They're on the hook for $160 million, and if no other team, if he's suspended or no other team, and maybe that they could suspend the contract for conduct detrimental, and that would probably be a legal fight of some sort. But I'm wondering if the Rays would even want him back. They certainly don't want to pay him.
I mean, does the players' union want to get involved in something like that? When we're talking about that sort of charges?
if he's found innocent or found not guilty, I mean,
it's the strongest union in the world.
We don't know the facts. I don't know the facts. You don't know the facts. We don't know the facts. We know there's a lot of stuff that's been on social media, but we know the mother was trafficking her daughter. So I mean, not that what Wander, not excusing what Wander did or did not do. We just don't know. We don't know the facts. So anyway, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. All right. Thank you to you, Timmy. Thanks to Jason Romano, who joined us from the baseball winter meetings. Very interesting interview regarding Kyle Tucker and the Rays. You might want to listen to that. Jim McVeigh joined us as well from the Rely Quest Bowl, Alabama and Michigan. Get your tickets now. Have a great day, everybody. We'll be back and coming to you live from the Pro Series Cup at Innisbrook tomorrow. We hope, Lord willing, technical difficulties don't hit us. We will be there. We should have a cavalcade of incredible guests joining us as well. So tune in for that. See you then.